Yes, it's another week of NTA Bini flagship program, and this morning we are discussing the president appointment of service chief. Recently made changes in the hierarchy of the service chiefs in furtherance of the effort of the federal government to strengthen the national security architecture. And this shake-up in the security architecture, citizens have continued to applaud President Tinubu, especially as it concerns security of lives and properties of Nigerians. While the qualifications and antecedents of these military high commands speak volume of the security of Nigeria going forward. Therefore, Midweek Connect this morning will x-ray this service chief's appointment and the way forward for security of Nigerians. And we have already seated ready for the discussion, and this morning we have the round peg on a round hole. Already our guest at my far left is Barrister David Ogba. He's CSP retired. He's a regular on this program Midweek Connect. He's a CSP retired, so as you can see, he's a key player in what we are discussing this morning concerning the appointment of service chiefs. Beside me here is St. Moses Eromosele, SME, popularly known as SME. He's a public affairs analyst. And Mr. Sonny, that is always calling in whenever Midweek Connect. Every morning he must call in to give his own opinion and suggestion and advices. We are very happy to see you guests this morning to discuss service chiefs. Meanwhile, as usual, you're also looking very very this morning. Welcome to the program. So before we kickstart fully on this discussion this morning, let's take a backgrounder that will usher us into what we're discussing: the appointment of service chiefs by President Tinubu.
Few days ago, the Nigerian military experienced a major shake-up in the country's military as the President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, appointed new service chiefs with the aim of addressing the nation's current state of insecurity. While some believe this development is apt, others have a contrary opinion. As much is expected from the newly appointed service chiefs, it is hoped they live up to expectations. This Monday, the president had a closed-door meeting with the newly appointees, mandating them to deliver on their new posts. Do call in during the phone-in segment to make your contributions on what you expect from them and how best to meet their targets.
Yes, if you're just joining us, this is Midweek Connect on NTA Benin, and of course it's a program that we do x-ray what happens in the society as it concerns you and I. And today we are out here this morning with our guest, as earlier introduced, to look into the appointment of new service chiefs in the country. And of course, let's begin with you, sir, Barrister David Ogba. You are looking at the security architecture of the country, and the president came up with this appointment. Well, if we should look back at the former administration, I think it was a period of 5 years they had to stay on. And here we are seeing something of 2 years. Because they were appointed June 2023. And here the president has to change them. Is it a routine thing, or it's something, it's usual, it's something that should be done? Or what's your take on the president's decision to change the service chiefs?
Well, thank you very much. The appointment of service chief all over the world is like a masquerade. You know, whenever you see a masquerade, you always know that something is on the pipeline. And that is exactly what we've witnessed. The duration, the timing, notwithstanding, service chief, the prerogative is the prerogative of the president to do the appointment. But certainly, service chiefs are always and only appointed in 3 separate instances. One of those instances is when they are performing below average. Secondly, if the security of the country has, broken down, and the best thing for the president to do is to change the service chiefs. And thirdly, for political reasons. So, looking at the timing, it's not appropriate just so to say that, within the 2 years or 5 years or whatever. But there must be a reason service chiefs are changed. It's not something that is done instantaneously, because they form a very vital muscle of the security strength of the country. So it's not something that could be changed routinely, so to say. So it's not a routine exercise.
So you just see it as
Yes.
something would have triggered
it.
I know, yes. Still coming to you, Mr. Musele, a lot of people have raised concern at probably having so much conversations around it. Reasons why the president has to come up with these changes and all that. But the president has stated that it is for the national security architecture of the country. What's your take?
Yeah, continuing from what the CSP just said, CSP retired, the president has the prerogative under section 218, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution as amended to appoint service chiefs. And there is no condition attached to that. He can decide to appoint service chief every month, every year, every 5 years, every 4 years, or even in 8 years if he serves. But it's important that there should be stability of this tenure of the service chiefs, and ideally they should run the tenure if it's possible. And that when there are some noticeable lapses in the security architecture, it's important that there need to be changes. We are aware that certain people are arrested for certain offenses we are not clear about. We are also aware that certain things have happened in this country, and certain former governors in Iran, by the news, for example. So there's some palpable fear in the atmosphere, and a wise leader will take a decision. When you feel that you cannot have absolute trust in the system, there's need to change. So that may have informed the reason for the change, and it could also be because of the huge budget against insecurity in this country, and yet there's still not a significant marginal change in the impact of the security architecture. So we need to have a change. And I watched recently, I saw the new service chief, I saw that he was giving an order, and that was instructive, an order to his men. He was saying that, he was telling them about how the military training, that if you see danger to your life, shoot. If you see danger to the lives of your colleagues, shoot. If you see danger to the life of property, shoot. That is a departure from the old order. In the old order, we had rumors that they say sometimes you have to wait for an order from somewhere before you can save your colleagues or save lives or save property. So it looks like there's a new change in the shift in strategy, and that's important. If that's the reason why they are changing, then the time is okay. And I want to think that the president is in order. After all, it's within his prerogative to decide when and how to appoint service chiefs.
Okay. If I know you have something to ask, but let's get our viewers to understand that they can call in before you say something. Here's the number to call. You can call in and ask questions or make your contribution. It's 0703-695-7086. I repeat, 0703-695-7086. If Former would also, before she continues, she can also give you the other number.
Okay, the second number is 081-090-42594. 081-090-42-594. And please, when you are calling, kindly shift away from your TV set, and please be civil in your opinion and your advice, because we are discussing a very important topic that affects security of everybody. So, Barrister Uba,
Thank you.
as a key player, you are retired CSP. In fact, it's just one question. When you heard of this shake-up in the security architecture of Nigeria, how did it make you feel?
All right, thank you very much. When I heard about the security shake-up of the security architecture of Nigeria as regards or concerning the service chiefs, I had a misfeelings.
Okay.
Yeah, because there have been rumors, just as my colleague has rightly said, that there is a rumored some rumor going on about coup and all that, and there have been denial on the part of the government, on the part of the army authority about it, coupled with the cancellation of the independent celebration of this year, and now the change of the service chief. So you can wittingly say that there are suspicion either that the allegation was contained in the media was true or it wasn't true. So, but I will allow the public to watch closely. I will advise the public to watch closely, because it is not yet time for us to judge actually what actually happened or the reason for the change of the service chief. But as I earlier on said, it's not a routine exercise.
Okay.
There are 3 things involved, and I mentioned the other 3 things, and it could either portend a good omen or a bad omen.
Okay,
so to say.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sonny. Do you look at this appointment as the president being patriotic and not, being tribalistic? Because if you see the appointment, it cuts across the geopolitical zones of Nigeria, coming from Nasarawa, coming from Ekiti, coming from Enugu State. So how do you see it? Service chiefs.
Okay.
So you, Moses, yes, for you. From Enugu State, from Ekiti, from Nasarawa, from touching, making sure that, unlike what Nigerians before now used to frown at, trying to make the service chief, the appointment, trying to tilt into one section of the country, looking at the fabrics of Nigeria being who they are.
Putting it succinctly, without mincing words, the appointment was balanced, ethnically balanced. The age also, I also saw a younger version of the service chief. One of the service chief was a very young person, and the other older ones. And so you see people from the east, from the north, from the west, and I think the president did very well in selection. And I must commend that decision, because in the past in this country, we've seen where we had service chief concentrated in one area. It shows that you either do not trust your military, or you do not trust yourself, or you are not sensitive about the diversity of our country. So this president did very well in deciding how he picked his service chief. The next thing is for them to not just change uniform, but to change strategy. Okay,
so how are you looking at the unity and progress of this country? Looking at, Nigeria just celebrated her independence, and the theme is unity and progress. So this shake-up now and the appointment, how do you think is going to strengthen the unity and progress of Nigeria? Coming from, hinging it on what you have already said.
The symbolic implication of that shake-up, the balanced shake-up, is going to reinforce our unity. Nigerian battle needs unity. We are a diverse country, no doubt. We are not one people per se, but we are one federation. And so this will help us to cement that aspiration towards unity. And we need to do more of these things. And this also goes to show that if we are taking decisions in this country, we must always be sensitive. Some people say merit. I ask myself, what is merit? If you say merit in appointment of heads of the military, first of all generals merit, all. So then if all generals merit, then the next thing is rational thinking. Okay, let's take one from this, let's take one from that, so let's balance. So balance is bigger and better than merit, because in the first place merit is already there. You know, so I think the president is right, and he's going to help us cement our unity, and we should do more in line with this thinking.
Well, let me come to you. I know you once served in this country in the security. Yes. And when the president, I think just this Monday, the president had a closed-door meeting with the security chiefs here that was appointed. And from what we learned, he told them they should deepen professionalism, enhance vigilance, and strengthen the nation's security architecture. Now you were in this security where we are talking about. When you are talking of deepen professionalism, enhance vigilance, and strengthen the country's security architecture, what really comes to play? What is the president looking out from them by this?
All right. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say that just for the purpose of clarity, that merit is very important in appointment of service chief and security team players in this country. You can't eschew the importance of merit, because if appointments are based on ethnic reasons and political reasons, that the result of that appointment is going to be sinister, it's going to be abysmal. And you know, we are hoping that this appointment is based on merit. We hope that this appointment is based on ability of those who were appointed to deliver, and not because of the rank they are wearing. Because I have been in the system, just as you noted, and in terms of professionalism, actually this is the time for the Nigerian army to go deeper into professionalism, because we can see that there is a little misnomer in terms of the professional ethics that has been upheld by the past regime of the soldiers. You know, now professionalism means that they should be more professional, concentrate on their constitutional responsibilities, and not just dilly-dally on civilian affairs. And in order to do this, the government ought to give them the necessary logistic, the necessary backings, and the necessary approvals to be able to achieve this mandate. There must be investment. Corruption in terms of procurement of logistic and equipment must be thrown to the waste, thrown away. And there must be, the people appointed, those appointed, must be professional in handling the men, because the men actually need moral. Their moral needed to be boosted. Which means the new appointees must improve on the morale of their personnel, visit them, know what are their problems, because there have been pockets of complaints by some of the operatives in the field. Those complaints must be looked at and actually salvaged in order to ensure that we get a good delivery of security services, just as as it's expected of a new appointment such as this. So
let me still say, yes, we are looking at professionalism, vigilance, and all that. And we know that this Wednesday, the Senate is billed to screen them for confirmation. And we've seen a series of events like this when they come up, take a bath. A lot of times, maybe they are just like, you can go ahead. But looking at it critically, what should the Senate be looking out for? Musole, talking about the screening to ensure that they get it right.
What the Senate should be looking at is whether these people merit their position, whether these people reflect the balance suspected, and that's just quickly to correct the impression that probably was had about my use of word balance. Balance is higher than merit. Merit is everybody that among the people with merit choose balance.
In addition to
yes, that's so. That's
merit,
what. Yes, you have to have balance. I didn't say don't use merit. Nobody. That's why I say all generous. If they don't merit it, they should not be generous. You should not appoint somebody that does not merit it. So if it's a general, then it's capable of handling critical assignments. Then if you have no blemish, then you can now pick among. You cannot pick all of them. You not pick. Maybe when you pick, you don't pick all from one tribe. Even if they all, they cannot be all. They are merit in every tribe. That's what I meant by balance. So I think the Senate should look at whether what we really need in this country. We need security. We don't need a change of uniform. We don't need a change of ranks. We don't even need a change of personnel per se. We need a change of strategy. We need a change of approach. We must be counting how many people are saved, not how many people have taken disappointment. How many lives have been killed in Benue? What's happening in Jos? What's happening in Borno? What's happening even in my door here? That is what the Senate should be looking at. Should be looking at this person. Will he be able to translate the vision, the expectation of Nigerians to reality? Nigerians want a safe country. Nigerians love this country. We don't even have other countries apart from this our country. Even if we have citizenship in any other country, here is our natural citizenship. Because that one day Soyinka yesterday was versed of his visa to the United States of America. And one day he threw away his citizenship that he used to have before because he said he doesn't want Trump at the time. And now yesterday they took away his visa because that is not his country. Here is his country. Here is our country. So the Senate must look at and tell these people, not just look at the papers, tell them what you expect. This Senate represents the people of Nigeria. We are going to tell you people, please, we want to be safe.
Okay.
We want security.
I just moving forward. I just want to bring out some, for our viewer to already follow us on what we are discussing about the appointment of service chiefs by the president. And the Chief of Defense Staff General Olufemi Oluyede staff, he steps into the native top military post with a reputation for discipline, quiet confidence, and operational excellence. Then Chief of Army Staff, that is Major General Waheed Shaibu, widely respected for his frontline command against insurgents in the northeast. Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sunday Kelvin Aneke, a decorated officer and pilot with more than 4,300 flying hours. Then you have Chief of Naval Staff Rear Admiral E.D. Abbas. He's expected to bring in his experience, decades of experience of naval, operational, and administrative experience. Then talking about Chief of Defense Staff, that is Major General Emmanuel Unedideye, he will continue to lead Nigerian defense intelligence architecture. He's not changed. He retained his position. So all this still talking about professionalism. So CSP retired Abbas, how do you see this? It seems the president actually looked into professionalism and years of competence and discipline before making this appointment, and not just for them to change uniforms, just like our regular caller, Mr. Sonny, had said.
Oh, that's good. That's an excellent question. You see, in as much as any reason may be given for the appointments, the most important thing is what you just said. The credentials, the ability of those who are appointed to deliver matter so much. Because no matter the rank you're wearing, you can't suddenly become a strong operative if you don't have that history of delivering. So it's very important that the service chief have these credentials. And I am actually using this opportunity to ask them that they must be focused. They must be absolutely focused, because we are talking about security this time around. Security is the paramount, the pivotal element of our national survival. And appointment of security chief must be meant to achieve its purpose. Professionalism, intelligence, and every discipline must be maintained in the highest peak, so to say. So I am using this opportunity to ask that goals, pivotal goals to achieving their ends must be set from the onset. It should not just be business as usual. Yes, we have all these credentials read out, but we want a change in this nation. The killings in this nation must not continue. The killing in the northeast, the killing in the Niger Delta, the killing in the Middle Belt, the killings all over the country must be put to an end. That is what we are saying. So whatever happens, the service chiefs must ensure that the aim of governance, which is to provide security, must be achieved and must be apparently and clearly achieved.
Yes, must be clearly achieved. Let me stay with you, Mr. Rumosele. Yes, we know that in this country, just like you said, if you look at the northeast, we have banditry, we have terrorism and all that. If you come to the south here, we have secession unrest. We have a lot of people coming up and we want to be here and that. All parts of the country seems to be affected by security challenges. And then we are talking about bringing to the table what they can deliver and all that. But we know that we keep changing service chiefs and all that. What do you think they've not been able to address as far as security is concerned, that we keep having this issue of security challenges in different parts of the country?
Thank you. What I understand you're asking is what's the root cause of these whole problems.
What have they not been able to address it?
And
why is it like
that's
that?
very important questions, very, very critical question. The root cause of this problem, I will speak as a sociologist here. There are three root causes of this problem. The whole insecurity. When we are addressing the problem of insecurity, we must think beyond military security. We must think about the human security. Because there are human beings that commit crimes. And there are reasons why they commit crimes. In Nigeria, the fundamental three reasons I've identified that causes this problem are: one, injustice. When people feel they don't have justice, like you talked about the secessionist cries in the southeast, there are reasons they are giving. They feel that they don't have justice in this country. That's why one of them is in prison right now, and they're still asking, bring him out. You're bringing the others. Why are you keeping Nnamdi Kanu, for example? They are thinking that they are excluded from power. They are thinking about this. They don't feel they have justice. Another reason, maybe people do elections and they think they win elections, and the elections turn around, and they don't feel this justice. So they go into crime. In the northeast, for example, there was a man who was killed in Boko Haram beginning. They complained that he was killed extrajudicially. Injustice. We must look at our police station. We must look at the idea that people have to take a bail and pay for bail, and sometimes falsely accused, for example, in our universities, that lecturers have to collect some money to get you to pass or to fail you if you didn't do XYZ. These are things we must address. The law, that's the National Assembly, must address this injustice. The executive must address this injustice. Number two, unemployment. People who have no jobs will go into crimes. It's a matter of time, not a matter of whether. It's a matter of time. There's no job. That's why in Europe, I stayed in Germany for at least 10 years. In Germany, if you have no job, government will pay you. Not because they have too much money, but they have too much sense. Because they know they are not paying you, you will go into crime of hunger. Because you are hungry. The human nature, when you are hungry, you will do something. Because you want to survive. That's the first law of nature. The government must fight unemployment by all means. That's why I commend the government strive to give student loan, to help to some families. But it must go beyond that. There must be a policy that is carved in stone, that Nigerian that is employed, you will pay taxes. Nigerian that is not employed should be on some social support until he gets a job. That will put the government on its toes. Number three, the other education. When people have no education, it's a problem. Other nations invest so much in education not because they are mad, because they have sense. They want to, because when you are educated, like for example, the number of people going to crime, go to the northeast, the criminals, the Boko Haram, or God can tell us from his experience, most of them are not educated. The leader may be educated, but the majority he uses are not educated. What we call it talakawas, those people who don't have sufficient education in the streets. He can harvest them. But if the government invests in education, not just education, general reading and writing, but telling the people civic education. That's why I'm happy what the government just did. They've made civic compulsory. Most Nigerians did not see that. I saw that. I said, this government is thinking. I was very proud. This government is thinking. You must teach the people civic. In Zimbabwe, I met a Zimbabwean in Germany. This guy, he said he went to secondary school, but when we engaged talking, man, he looked like a professor. How did you know this much? In my country, from primary 1 at the basic school to the secondary school, which we make compulsory, they teach us basic civic. They teach us everything about politics.
If we have enough time, we would have been able to talk so much.
Yeah.
By way of wrapping up, we are pressed for time.
Okay.
By way of your parting words, retired head CSP, you've said so much, but by way of your parting words, as we look at this appointment and the expectations of Nigerians, what would you say?
All right. I would say that we pray for a change in the security delivery of this nation. And all these things, just as I've said before, has to do with the appointment, the intentions of the appointment. If the appointment is based on politics, based on ethnicity, well, we pray that those appointees must have a routine and deliver professionally. But if it's based on merit, Nigeria is in for an enhanced security, a turnaround, in security architecture of this nation, and an end to the killings and atrocities that insecurity has caused this nation.
Thank you very much, sir, for your contribution. Yes, by way of wrapping up, your closing thoughts on this issue, the appointment, and what we expect, assuming they are confirmed today.
Once they are confirmed, I want them to be sincere in this country. I want them to use synergy, all the arms, whether police, army, Air Force, all of them must work together, share information, because it's a common problem we are fighting. And then it's important for us to go beyond rotation in thinking. We should go into the strategic change. The way they have been doing this since 1999 is not working. They should find some new ways that will help us save lives and save this country.
New ways, Ifoma. Okay.
Of course, as we, as all Nigerians, are looking forward to the confirmation of the new service chiefs appointed by the president. Of course, our guests, they giving us their own insights concerning their expectations, and everybody is expecting that at the end of the day, we all have an enhanced security, that everybody will sleep and snore finally in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, our guests, for coming to the studio
Thank
to
you.
share your
Thank
thoughts.
you so much.
We really appreciate and look forward to having you more on this program.
Thank you.
Yes, that has been the size of our program this morning. From what has been said, it's not just about the service chiefs that we believe will be confirmed today for work. It's a duty of all Nigerians, and of course we have agencies in this country that deal with security. They should also collaborate and seek ways, like has been said, to ensure that this country is secured and all of us will live at peace. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to having you next week for another interesting program. Thank you and good night.
Good morning.
Shoot, I will see your head.